This week, we're in Daniel chapter 7, and a lot of people avoid chapters 7 to 12 because there's some really weird visions, really strange dreams. But because we're taking a historical view, I think that will alleviate a lot of confusion and a lot of the misunderstandings about what the last half of Daniel is all about. So we'll have some interactive things right off the bat. You guys are going to help me tell the story of what is in Daniel's vision. So instead of listening to me drone on, you guys are going to help me draw it. Don't panic. We're not all going to draw it at the same time. What we'll do is a breakout room. And so I'll put you in your breakout room for 5 minutes. Each of your groups or rooms will be assigned a specific part of the picture to draw.
No.
And there's panic. It's okay. I drew it out on mine and it's terrible, but I know what it means. So here's my drawing. I'm not winning any art awards here. But as a combined group effort, I think it will help us really get into this vision and really start to understand the different components, why they're used in this vision, why they showed up, and what it means for us as Christians and what it meant to Jesus. We're bringing Jesus into our Daniel study. It's pretty amazing. So let me get the breakout rooms set up, and then we'll figure out what part of the story to do for what group. So I'm going to get my verse out here. Okay, so let me get some breakout rooms set up, and then I'll tell you which ones. So let's do 3 to 4 per room. Okay, we'll have 4 breakout rooms, which is pretty good. That's part of the story. So let's have room 1. I know you don't know what room you're in yet. Here, don't click the button to go to your room. Wait till I give you the instructions and then click the button. So I'll create the rooms. Okay. So I'll open the room, but don't go yet. All right. Room number 1. Take verses 4 through 8. That's a lot at once. You know what? How about you do 2 animals? Let's do 4 with the lion and then the bear. So room 1 is the lion and the bear, verses 4 to 5. Can you guys see what room you're in? Does it tell you?
Yes.
No. Oh, yes, 3.
Excellent. Okay, the next part of the story. Oh, we got to do the setting. Okay, so room 2, you're the setting. So take verse number 2 and 3. That's a really important part of the story. So, okay, we've got the setting. We've got the animals. We need the Ancient of Days. Okay, so that is verse... Oh, that's verse 9 and 10. Ancient of Days. So group 3, room 3, you are Ancient of Days. And then, oh, we haven't done the other 2 animals. You know what? Group 1, just take all the animals. There's only 4.
Thanks.
Well, somebody's got to do the Son of Man. Okay. And then, so that'll be verse 13 and 14. I know we skipped a few in there. If you need to add another verse to get your picture drawn, that's okay. Okay, so group 1, you've got the animals. Group 2, you've got the setting. Group 3, Ancient of Days. Group 4, Son of Man. Okay, I'm going to let you go in your breakout room for 5 minutes. So set your timer. 5 minutes, go. Figure out how you're going to draw it, and then we'll come back and draw it together. Okay, Looks like most everybody is back. So, all right. Hopefully we've got, let me double check here. Hopefully we've got everybody together with a plan. Remy, I'm going to erase your line right here until we're all ready to go. This is an experiment and we're just going to have fun with it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and that's okay. So my thought was we'll have each group go in order of the story and we'll tell the story as we draw it, knowing that we're not all artists, and that's okay. Okay, so all right, so group, let's do the settings. So group 2, do you see the whiteboard? Will you please draw our setting of the Great Sea? So group 2, use your mouse or your finger if you have a touch screen. Aha, there's a sea. It's kind of fun.
Mm.
Are you guys just making Julie draw? Is everybody going to draw or just Julie?
Well, we're making Julie draw.
Oh, look, there's wind.
She's doing a really good job.
Yes. This is impressive.
Ah,
Okay, so it
Hold
says,
on.
I'll kind of read the
Hold on.
story as we go. Daniel said, in my vision at night, I looked, and there before me were the 4 winds of heaven churning up the great sea. This is a really interesting way to start the story or start his vision. So he's having this as a dream or a vision. The 4 winds is actually a very common Akkadian, like ancient Mesopotamian, like literary image. And so it's in a lot of the ancient Akkadian writings. And it's interesting. It pops up here too. The 4 winds of heaven. Yes. Oh, good. You even got them labeled. Nice. With stars. Julie, you get an A. Okay. Awesome. So that's our setting.
Did I take up too much space?
Well, no, because we can always like draw arrows.
You can draw over it.
Would go. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay. So
Good job, Julie. Good job.
Okay, everybody, golf clap. Good job, Julie. Excellent. Okay, so the next one, we have beasts. That is team 1. Group 1, you're on. And you can draw those like on the bottom, like across, wherever, just so we can see them.
Are we ready for me to draw my person? Or are we to that yet?
Let's see. So we've
We're
done the
group
setting.
4.
We've got the beasts.
Okay.
I love the bear.
Adorable.
We need the Ancient of Days next.
Okay, Ancient of Days. I have a second whiteboard page ready to go since we filled up the first one. You guys, you're such good computer artists.
That's really good, guys.
I'm really impressed. Okay, oh here, I got to read the story. Hang on, and then we'll advance. Okay, the first was a lion. It had the wings of an eagle. I watched until its wings were torn off and it was lifted from the ground. So it stood on 2 feet like a human, and the mind of a human was given to it. So this recalls back to chapter 4 when Nebuchadnezzar was humbled and made to be like an animal or a beast. And he was given the heart of a man. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. And there before me was a second beast like a bear. I can totally tell which one is the bear. I like the ears. Okay. Oh, wait, let's back up. And so real fast, the lion. So this, if you notice when you read through this chapter, it echoes chapter 2 with Nebuchadnezzar's dream statue. So there's 4 elements. There's 4 beasts in this one, like there were the 4 kingdoms in chapter 2. So following that same logic, the lion represents who?
The different nations are different.
but which one?
Empires. Oh, the lion represents.
Babylon.
Yeah, remember that the
Nebuchadnezzar.
head of gold was Babylon.
Okay.
Babylon's symbol was a lion.
Persia, wasn't it?
Persia is represented here by the bear.
Oh, okay.
They had lions too, but here it actually represents Persia. And so the bear is like on its side. So that means one side's more dominant than the other. And you think about Persia, it was actually a combination of the Medes and the Persians together. And the Persians were the dominant one. So that's kind of the meaning of that one. And the three ribs represent the three kingdoms that Cyrus like ate up metaphorically, that he conquered to become the Persian Empire. Lydia, the Chaldeans, and Egypt. And those all have specific years when he conquered those. So like you can look backwards and see, just like chapter 2, this is all like happening historically for real. So that's the bear. That's the bear. Okay, the next one, the third one, looked like a leopard. And on its back, it had 4 wings like those of a bird. This beast had 4 heads and it was given authority to rule. So yeah, the beast with 4 heads. What do you think that one is? If we're following dream statue logic, or you remember what it was? Head was gold, which was Babylon. Chest of bronze or of silver.
Silver.
And Greece is next.
Yes. Persia. Yep. So the
Oh,
leopard.
the iron.
Yeah. So we're on the third one. So the third beast.
Bronze.
Bronze. Here, the leopard also represents Greece because of how swiftly Alexander the Great took over Persia. It only took him like 11 years, and he conquered all of Persia and expanded it. So he had 4 generals. If you go back to the specific video I made for Daniel chapter 2 about the statue, I go into more detail about the different kingdoms. But Alexander the Great had 4 generals, Cassander.
What it talks about.
Lysimachus, Seleucus, and Ptolemy. And so like his empire got divided into 4, and you notice the creature has 4 heads. So interesting connection there. And then the last one, there's debate. Some people still think it's Greece. Most scholars now think it's Rome. And that one is the one Talia drew. Oh, by the way, I love the leopard. You can tell with all the spots.
Yeah.
And
Do you notice the 4 heads though?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. You can count them. April, I forgot to say how much I like that you gave the lion like red, eerie, creepy eyes. It's good. And then Talia's looks like a space monster.
No, he's supposed to be a beast.
Oh, well, I know. But the 4th beast is so weird. It doesn't even have an animal comparison. Did you notice that? Okay. Large iron teeth, it crushed and devoured its victims and trampled underfoot whatever was left, and had 10 horns. That's another way that people think this one was Rome, because there were, some kings that they identify with this, and I'll share that as an extra when I publish the video. I'll have some articles about that too. So this chapter, this vision echoes Daniel chapter 2, and it's all the same kingdoms. And so some people think, I'll wait until we get to the interpretation, but some people think that the little horn that pops up Some people prescribe to the thought that this represented Greece, and that would have been Antiochus Epiphanes. He's the guy that put a statue of Zeus in the temple in Jerusalem, and he sacrificed a pig on the altar. He also made them get rid of their Torah scrolls and wouldn't let them celebrate any Jewish festivals. That guy was not a nice guy. We're going to actually learn about him next week because he's in chapter 8, historically. But other people think that no, the beast with 10 horns represents Rome, and that's kind of the standard theory these days, is that beast represents Rome because like that little horn would represent Domitian, the Emperor Domitian, who declared himself divine. So if you were in Brenda Heller's Revelation class, you got to hear about that there. We'll talk about that a little bit more as we get to the next chapters in Daniel. So how interesting. Daniel has a completely different dream that is terrifying. It makes him turn pale, and it has a very similar meaning to a dream he's already interpreted. So again, this is God showing his sovereignty over earthly kingdoms, because we're going to see the Ancient of Days come next. So let's go to our second page in the whiteboard. Who has Ancient of Days?
Group 3.
Okay, sketch it out for us.
Peggy and who did I say was in my group? Angie. Do either of you want to try it?
Go ahead.
I can draw some of it.
Okay, go for it, Angie.
No pressure, Angie. We're all watching you. Okay, so
I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this.
It's okay. It's okay. It's hard
Sorry,
because you're drawing God's flying mobile. I mean, it's like a flying throne.
Yeah, I don't know that I can do this. I'm not very talented with drawing online.
That is okay. Anybody want to jump in and help? Hey, April.
Wait a second. I think I can do this.
Okay, Pat, go for it.
Okay. We're going to have
here.
the Ancient of Days.
I'll use your eraser here and make a spot for Pat. There we go.
Oh,
perfect.
Oh,
thank you.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
Well, I guess I'm not seeing where you are because I started drawing. Where are you here?
Oh, that's okay. You go right ahead, Pat.
Okay, I'm erasing this. Wait, there. Now I'm pen here.
Okay.
And this is long hair.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. The throne is up here. Whoop, what happened to the throne?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it does have wheels, but they're on fiery flame.
Yes.
And
so while Pat's drawing, you can see another image of God's fiery chariot throne in Ezekiel 1 and 10. Very interesting image. Something else I didn't mention hold on, let's see, on Julie's lovely drawing of the setting. In Babylonian mythology, like in their creation story, they have these creatures coming out of the sea and with a big dragon, and they have to be defeated before creation can continue. And so Daniel, remember, he got trained for 3 years in Babylon. He would have heard all of these Babylonian myths and knew all about their mythology. And so it's interesting that you've got beasts coming out of the sea in this one too. Back then, in all cultures, the sea represented chaos. You didn't want to get stuck in chaos. And so God is the opposite of that. He's the God of order. And okay, looks like Pat has the wheeled chariot of fire.
yes, and there's there's thrones around him.
Uh-huh.
He's surrounded by other thrones, but his is high and lifted up. I don't know how to make that. And I'm not making his face. You can't see his face.
Oh, no, but he's got lovely white hair and a white robe.
Yes.
Very good. Very good. Yes. And a river of fire was flowing, coming out from before him.
Yes.
Yes. Thousands upon thousands attended him. The court was seated and the books were opened. So now we have a judgment scene. And if you fast forward into the Revelation in the New Testament, John had, in his vision, he had this courtroom scene as well. I think it's in like chapters 19 and 20. So it's echoing this courtroom scene here. And so the books are opened. All ancient kings used to keep records. Like if you think back to Esther, remember how the king forgot how Mordecai saved his life? And he's like, hey, read me those chronicles. Or even the books of 1st and 2nd Kings and 1st and 2nd Chronicles in the Old Testament. Those are annals of the kings. So that's that would have been the same with Babylonians and Assyrians too. They would have been familiar with that. Okay, so God opens the books, and then what? Then we see someone like a son of man. Beth, is that you?
That's me.
You're up.
Okay, let's see how I do here.
So verse 13 says, in my vision at night I looked, and there before me was one like a son of man coming with the clouds of heaven. He approached the Ancient of Days and was led into his presence. He was given authority, glory, and sovereign power. All nations and peoples of every language worshiped him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion that will not pass away, and his kingdom is one that will never be destroyed.
This is going to take me a minute.
That's okay. I'll fill time. No, you're good. You're good. So this is so the Son of Man is a common expression, and it describes someone or something that is human or human-like. And so this is the God of heaven elevating a human to divine status and giving him power and authority. And then like coming on the clouds was a very common description of divine appearances in ancient literature too, including like Canaanite literature. So like Baal was called the charioteer of the clouds. So when you saw someone coming on clouds, that was usually a divine presence. So God elevated this human, and that is a fabulous drawing.
That is a fabulous drawing.
Good job, Beth. All of you, very good.
We're either going to get really long hair or the man bun. Does anybody have a vote? I am of the belief that we had really
long hair.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for no man bun. I appreciate it.
I'm saying there was probably a man bun at some point in time.
Maybe hipster.
I mean, even the very classic men today, very orthodox kind of men. Oh, where'd my hair go? Oh, there it went.
Yes, that's true.
And they wrap it up, keep it dry.
They do. Fantastic. Very historically correct.
And I have some more clouds because there were a lot of clouds, because that's the only really descriptor we have here.
It is.
I was telling people, like the image that always will pop into my head, and then we need, how does this fill? Does that fill? Nope, that didn't work. Hold on.
I don't know if we have a fill on here or not.
Yeah, we'll just, put some skin color in there.
Okay, sounds good. Mediterranean skin color.
Well, we anglicize things a lot.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
And so this looks really bad. My one in pen is much better.
Oh, show us your one in pen again. Do you have it there? You can.
I do. Hold on.
Hold up to the camera.
Oh, his eyes are all crooked. There's his nose. There's a mouth.
Oh, perfect.
I need a mustache. Right. And then we have a little mustache. There we go. Okay, there's my dude. There's my
Okay.
son of man.
Golf clap, everybody. Very good work, all of you.
Yeah,
Thank you
very
so
good.
I'm
much.
just saying a little better on the ink.
Yay!
Oh, man.
There he is.
Perfect. So that is Daniel's vision from chapter 7. Well done, everybody. So there's the first page, all the beasts coming out. Can you imagine having a dream like this? Like, I would look pale too. I mean, I already do, but I would look more pale. I don't tan. So anyway, holy cow, what an interesting set of things. But don't think of it like a code that where we decode it, like each of these things is a symbol we have to decode. Because if you were there, if you were a Jew, like with Daniel, listening to all of this, even if you're a Babylonian, you would have recognized many, many, many of these symbols because they were used in other ancient Mesopotamian literature and art. They had their walls decorated. If remember the Ishtar Gate going into Babylon had all these winged creatures. And so like, it's just that this was a different way to put all of those different motifs and different images together to echo the same message from chapter 2. And if you remember, the whole purpose of the message, the interpretation in chapter 2 was what? Does anybody remember that one?
God's dominion.
Yes. God's sovereignty, that no matter what happens with the kingdoms on earth, God, his kingdom will be forever, and he will crush the other kingdoms. And so in chapter 7, it's the same message. This is trying to give hope to the people in exile, to the Jewish exiles. They are prisoners of war in Babylon, serving the king that destroyed their city. Sometimes maybe it seemed like all was lost, and what's the point? Like you've got Psalm 137, the poem where sing us one of the songs of Zion, but how can we sing in a foreign land? So this is again purpose to give God's people hope that yes, you'll be persecuted, but God puts a time limit on these things. It's not forever. His kingdom will come and it will endure. So it should be a message of hope and comfort and maybe give them some peace in their exile. Now, of course, it wasn't written to us, so we can't say that that message is for us, but we can apply the lessons from that to our lives so we can learn from that. And what's really interesting and what I want to close with today is how Jesus viewed himself, because his whole vision of his ministry, his bringing the kingdom of God, his whole healing the sick, bringing good news to the poor, all of that is framed by how he viewed this chapter, Daniel chapter 7. And it has to do with that phrase, the Son of Man. Now, until this lesson, until I put this lesson together, I never really thought much about what does the Son of Man mean. I just thought it was this cryptic thing he called himself. Because you notice, like, we call him Jesus the Christ, which Christ is Greek for Messiah, which is Hebrew. But Jesus never called himself Christ or Messiah. He named himself the Son of Man. And I think in using that moniker, he was conveying this message, of God appointing the human and elevating them to divine status, giving them power and authority to crush the beasts. What a powerful image. So I have a video that, let's cross our fingers that this will play in Zoom. If not, that'll be your homework, is to watch this video. It's a Bible Project video, and it's about the Son of Man. It is just about 6 minutes. Oh, you know what? Let me save this before we move on. Okay, I saved them and I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, now we can see each other again. All right. So what I'll do is I will get this video queued up here, and I think this will be a really great way to end the class. So, also, if you want to see a professional drawing, other than April's, of course, because April is a professional artist. Right? It's true. Okay. Check this out. This is a screen capture from the Bible Project's Daniel video. And I just love how they don't simplify, but they use visuals to convey the message in a very straightforward way. So you can see Daniel dreaming. There's the arrogant kingdoms. There's the Ancient of Days. And Daniel's watching all of this unfold. I just love their artwork. Okay. All right, so now to the video. Wasn't that powerful?
Mhm.
So I love that Jesus's execution became his exaltation. I think that's a great line. I love the scene in that video where they show him, Jesus, on trial. Remember, this is in Matthew 26, and he was brought before the high priest, Caiaphas, who is pictured in this video as a beast. Because remember, at his trial, they were purposefully trying to find people to falsely accuse Jesus so they could just go ahead and kill him. The high priest wanting to falsely accuse him to kill him. I mean, how more corrupt can you be? And so, he asks, are you the Messiah, the Son of God? And Jesus, he's like, well, you say so. I can just hear Jesus' smart alecky response, snarky response. But the fact that Jesus used that Daniel 7 imagery, and he's like, I see him sitting at the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of God, coming in on the clouds. He was telling them he is the human made divine from Daniel chapter 7. And you can just imagine their seething anger at that and the blasphemy. And so, like the Bible Project said in one of their podcasts that I'll share with you with this video, they said, at this trial, he's in a room full of Bible nerds. Like they all knew the Old Testament. They knew this Daniel 7 story. And so when he just mentioned a few words from it, they would have had this mental picture of what Jesus was talking about. And he was using that to declare himself the Son of God, divine. And so what he's doing by saying that, by implying that Jesus is the Son of Man from Daniel chapter 7, who does that make the beast?
All of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the high priest, Caiaphas, and all of the scribes and teachers of the law who were all there. Ouch. I wouldn't want to be called the beast.
Right.
So this story really helps us put ourselves in Jesus's shoes, or sandals, I should say, to think about how he pictured himself and his whole mission, his whole purpose. So I hope that video kind of brings all of this together for you for Daniel chapter 7. So think about how every human kingdom, and sometimes every human, can turn into a beast. That is, the result of pride. And when that happens, we become the beast. Or as we've seen in other chapters, we become the Babylon. And so it's always a constant struggle to live as Jesus lived, humble and a servant. So that's Daniel chapter 7. I hope this was fun. I hope you liked drawing, doing something different. I hope nobody's too embarrassed.
I like Julie drawing.
Oh, this is good. This is good. So I'll make sure and get those whiteboard pictures that we saved. I'll put those in the video too, so everybody can enjoy your artwork.
Oh boy.
Everybody on the interwebs will see it sometimes. Oh, you guys are good sports. Thank you for coming tonight. And next week is Daniel chapter 8. More crazy visions, crazy creatures, fun times. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Beth.